That term limits are the answer, and I'll explain why. There are actually a few reasons. First and foremost, Congress is never going to impose term limits on itself, and they would have to be the ones to do that. But they're not going to actually give up their own power or their ability to hold on to it in that way. It's a non-starter. Never going to happen. Secondly, if you impose term limits, you run into the problem of losing institutional knowledge. It's not easy to craft legislation. It's not easy to know how to pass legislation. It's not easy how to do those two things without blatantly violating the Constitution. And when you kick people out after an arbitrary period of time or a number of terms, you do end up limiting the amount of that knowledge that can be passed on or that is held in the institution. Thirdly, most of the legislation that's passed isn't actually written by Congress. It's written by lobbyists who hand it off to Congress, who barely read it, barely think about it, and then sort of rubber stamp it without giving much consideration as to what's going to happen. That would not change if term limits were in effect. I think much more impactful would be to primary these people every single time. Make sure that they can never go into a general election without have to fight for their right to be the nominee again for their party. And that's whether you are a Democrat or a Republican or something else. Always be primarying your incumbents, no matter what. It is the only way to even attempt to keep these people honest. And you know what? Maybe you'll fucking win, and then you can take their seat, and then you can be the person you want to see in these halls of power. Which, it's worked before. The Republican Party pulled it off fucking beautifully in 2010 with the Tea Party movement, and then again when MAGA went absolutely fucking apeshit starting in 2016. This is not impossible. This is something that you can and should do. Don't let these people just waltz into a general election without a fight. Also, vote in primary elections more. We're really fucking bad about that. Our turnout's usually around 30 to 35%, and that's why these people keep getting the nominations for their parties in order to be running the general elections again and have that incumbency advantage. Take that away from them. Don't let them have it, or at least don't let them have it without a fight.